Hello everyone, I'm Michael Evison, for those who don't know me, Coordinator of Membership for the Marist Association. My colleague Tracy, with whom I work on Christ Life, kindly suggested that perhaps it would be good if I did meet a Marist, since I'm always dobbing other people in to do it. And of course, as some will know, I'm retiring at the end of the year, so she thought that that was an appropriate time for me to do so. And I'm very happy to do so and to talk about my connection with being Marist, which has really been a lifelong connection. Well, as I've indicated, it's been almost a lifelong connection. I actually first came in contact with the Marist brothers when I was 10 years old. And back in those days, we boys, once we finished 4th class, got shipped off to the brothers. It was almost sort of set as an ominous threat. Wait till you get to the brothers. And we finished 5th and 6th grade, in my case, at Marist Brothers Mossman, and then went on to the high school at North Sydney. And I have to say that the men who taught me there, were very, very impressive men. And that led to my decision shortly after I finished school to actually joining the brothers. I was the brother for some years, and although that ultimately wasn't my vocation, I then kept teaching as a lay teacher in Marist schools. I maintained friendships over many years with brothers, and then of course have come back to work at Mascot again with the Marist family. So it has been, for almost my whole life, a very strong connection. The phrase that comes to mind, I think, is strength in gentleness. If you look at the parts of the gospel in which Mary appears, she has real strength of character, and that comes through things like the Magnificat. But there's also a gentleness. I guess perhaps we could be stereotypical and relate it to her being female. But I think there's an element of masculinity and femininity that needs to be in every person who seeks to be whole and holistic. So for us guys, as well as for women, being in touch with that gentle feminine side, but strength within that as well, I think is key. And that in turn, I think has informed my spirituality. Hopefully a spirituality which is very much about being open and receptive to God in the way that Mary was. She also, of course, provides a wonderful example, and we have it as one of our real pillars, of presence. And so trying to live out my Christian vocation, if you like, through being present to others is something that I have striven to do. Well, I guess I'd have to say a lifelong friendship with, again, Marist brothers, people like Peter Carroll. When it was being discussed that perhaps I might be able to contribute something here at Mascot and working for the Marists, I met the wonderful Mr. Joe McCarthy, who many of you would know, who at that time was the head of the pastoral team, which I then subsequently joined. So from Joe I heard all about the association and that this Marist family had broadened out, still included the brothers obviously, but included many lay people as well, men and women, young and old, who want to really embrace this wonderful charism. Well, I think I'd have to say the contact I've had in my role with various members, various local groups, local coordinators that provide great inspiration. But I also would mention the local groups that I've been a part of. I guess I've had a foot in 2 camps, one being the City Marist local group, which is a fairly eclectic group with people who some of whom are in Marist schools, but many of whom are no longer in Marist schools, or they're in other forms of ministry or other occupations altogether, or are retired. But they meet on a regular basis in Sydney, and that is a wonderful group to be part of. Increasingly, there's been a connection too with the Mascot local group, the local group based in the Sydney Marist Centre here. And for the last couple of years, I've been the local coordinator of that group. And it's been my pleasure to invite not only members of the association who work here and people who once worked here and are members, but also people in the entire office. And we've had several gatherings. We've had wonderful guest speakers that have come in and spoken to us and with us and facilitated wonderful meetings. There's also been a strong social component. So I have that real sense of family and sense of belonging with my colleagues here at Mascot, those in the association, also those who are not. And that's a connection I hope to maintain even after I leave this role. Well, I guess primarily for me, it's about my wife Joanne, with whom I've been blessed to be married for over 30 years now, and also friends. We have a wide circle of friends. We're very fortunate, and we love to spend time with those people. We love going out to dinner, going out to lunch, seeing movies and plays and things like that, and we love to travel. And that's something I certainly hope to embark on more so when I have a bit more time from the end of the year onwards.